Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Steve coming at you. I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to touch base with you really quickly and do this quick video because it's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I think I'm just finally ready to kind of talk about it again. I talked about it initially, and I'm ready to talk about it again a little bit involving COVID-19. Not wearing my hat today because it is hot as hell in here in Texas today, and just figured I'd make this a quick video before heading out. But I wanted to ask this question, because it seems like, with the cases of COVID that have taken place now, especially spikes in Texas where I am, and in Florida and a few other places around the country, quote unquote hotspots. I found something very interesting. I was watching a video, and the video the gentleman asked, if COVID-19 is so deadly, or if the coronavirus is so deadly, how come we aren't hearing about homeless being wiped out all over the country? Now, I've done some research and read some articles, and don't get me wrong, I am sure there are probably homeless people who have coronavirus, but you're not hearing about a lot of deaths amongst the homeless population. And I would assume if it was as deadly as they make it sound in the media, that you would hear more about these deaths. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys have some information out there I haven't seen, I haven't found in the research I've done. I have seen research. And again, you gotta look at who you're looking at as far from a research perspective, who that information's coming from. So don't just believe everything you read on online, or especially if it's in social media. But make sure you fact check your sources that you're looking at for this information. But I haven't heard a lot about homeless deaths. You don't see it on the media. In fact, they don't talk about the homeless at all from an epidemic perspective or even a pandemic perspective when it comes to coronavirus. Yet, we're led to believe, like they just did here in Texas, where now you have to wear a mask whenever you go into a store. I hate shopping now. If I can get it from in the car so I don't have to get out, that's the route I try to take. Because the idea of having to get out of the car and put on a mask every time I want to walk into a store is just ridiculous to me. These masks ain't doing nothing. I'm just telling you. For those of you who are pro-mask, and pro all this stuff, and the OTRs out there, the OTRs are the obey the rules folks. If that's you, hey, cool, God bless you. You feel like you're doing your part by obeying all these rules that keep changing all the time. You do you. But I don't see where these masks are helping. I think this is really more about power and control than about a virus. Now, please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying the virus isn't real. I'm not saying the virus hasn't killed people. I'm sure it has. So does the flu. So does the common cold. So does tuberculosis. So does cancer. We definitely have a cancer issue in this country, and we definitely have the flu every year. In fact, 60,000 people a year die from the flu. 60,000 on average per year in the U.S. alone die from the flu, and we haven't closed one store, one barbershop, shut down one church for any of that stuff. But we're shutting down all kinds of stuff left and right, and having to wear masks everywhere we go. And the type of mask we're using don't really do anything to stop the virus, because we're still walking around with our eyes wide open. We're getting through the mucus, through the membranes of our eyes. So, and some people are wearing the mask wrong, which is hysterical. Some people wearing the mask where it doesn't. I actually have one of mine in the car right here. Let me check it out real quick. It's so funny to see people walking around with a mask like this. That is awesome. That is awesome. What is that going to do? I mean, come on. So, if you're the type of, you feel like you should be wearing it, whatever. If it helps you sleep at night, rock and roll. But I'm just going to call it what it is. This is all BS. I mean, all of it is BS. This is much more about control and power than it is about a disease. Because unless this is the most intelligent virus in the history of mankind, where it's kind of an AI, where it knows not to go in the big box stores like I'm parked near one right now at Walmart. It knows not to go into Walmart, but it can definitely go into a little mom and pop shop. It'll get you there. It knows to avoid the weed shop, but to get you at church. I mean, come on now. What, really? we need to stop all this. This is all designed to keep us in line. I said from the very beginning, when this whole thing started and they started doing this whole shutdown and social distancing and wear a mask and all the stuff, I said this is a giant social experiment being played on people around the world. And if we're going to get past this thing, what we need to do is do what Sweden did. We need to get to this whole herd immunity deal where you quarantine those who are at risk and the sick and people who could definitely die from it, but those same people could probably die from pneumonia. You know, we got to quarantine those folks. Awesome. Let the rest of us who are healthy or be willing to take the risk go live our lives and get to a point where once, if we get it and we get over it, then we're good. But allow us that option to do that. But you guys got to keep your eyes and ears open. I'm telling you, Fauci, I wouldn't believe that man if he asked me to step in front of him just so he could, if he asked me to let him go first to walk across the street. He's just not somebody I find trustworthy. There's so many contradictions that have come from that one man alone, including the mask deal. He admitted on television, on camera, that the reason why they told people not to wear masks in the beginning was because they wanted to make sure the medical staff had enough of those supplies themselves first. Now, I get the sentiment, but basically what you're saying is until we have medical facilities stocked up and overstocked and we make sure they have more than enough masks, the rest of y'all are on your own. But once that's done, then you can go get the mask. This is not about public health. This is about control. Please understand that. And what say you? If you agree with me, great. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. This is what your thoughts on this. I'm calling BS on this whole thing. I'm just calling straight bullshit on this whole deal. I'm ready to get back to my normal life. I'm not interested in the new normal. I'm not interested in having to wear a mask every time I go to a store or stand 6 feet away from my people, or you can't go to your loved one's funerals, but yet you can go to George Floyd's funeral where he had 3 of them, including celebrities and public officials, and nobody seemed to be worried about coronavirus then. And you can go riot and loot. Coronavirus apparently has a political sway to it as well, so you can go riot and loot and protest, but you're not allowed to get in large gatherings to go to a political rally. So apparently there's some politics involved in this. In fact, there's a lot of politics involved in this whole thing. Pay attention. Wake up. Understand what's going on. You are being played. I'm not being played because I already know this is BS. For those of you who don't, that's cool. If it makes you feel better to keep following these OTR deals, rock on. I'm just not one of those people. As soon as we can avoid having to go through this stuff, I'm going to avoid it. And I'm already petitioning to say, look, we need to change. We need to get back to normal life. The kids need to go to school. Why are kids being kept out of school when they're the least susceptible? Why are they being kept out of school? See, these things just don't make any sense. If you start to pay attention and ask questions like, why are you doing this if this is the case? You'll find out real quick. They don't have any answers. The whole house of cards comes falling down. But what say you? You may disagree with me. If you do, that's cool. Just say, Steve, you're full of BS. I know people who personally had coronavirus. I know people who had coronavirus too. I also know people who survived it. I know people who've died from the flu. I know people who've died from pneumonia. We don't shut down the whole world for that reason. I know people who've died from cancer. You don't shut down the world for that reason. So, wrong. But if you think I'm full of it, give me the thumbs down. Tell me why. That's cool. If you agree with me and like what I said, give me a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. Appreciate you all. I look forward to talking to you again soon. I hope you have a great day. Take care.